cannot believe the legend and myth. Yeah, I'm back from vacation, quote unquote. I did the one forbidden thing you're not supposed to do after a debut, which is disappear into the back rooms. Took me a couple of weeks to get out of there. Did I ping the Discord? Did I send that message? I did. Okay. Hello, sir. Some might say hi. I hope you have a good day. I hope. Well, I can't hear because I have no volume. Good day as well. Thanks for dropping by. Heart. By the way, do let me know whether the sound is okay. I switched some stuff around. I got new equipment. Wait, am I? Wait. Do I have the label? No. You might actually, for once in like 3 years on my stream, you might actually get ads because I have the sexual themes label off for once in my streaming career. I mean, Twitch is telling me ads starting soon, but I'm not seeing anything. So, I guess we'll wait. Hello, Joe. Hello, Coin. Sound as well, in my opinion. Okay, thank you. Pardon me, my nose is stuffy, apparently. Okay, there's the ads. Are you guys getting ads? Am I allowed to talk? No ad here. Okay. You're not from Southeast Asia, right? Because they tend to not have ads for some reason. Because too few advertisers or something. No ads. Getting ad for Twitch Turbo. Nice. I mean, actually, I don't ever get ads. Like on my stream, because I have the sexual themes content label, and I guess most advertisers don't run ads on it on Twitch. But because of that, I also don't know if when it runs ads, because most of the streams that I watch I'm sub to. Whether like Twitch has this thing that sometimes instead of a proper ad, you just get like a little banner at the bottom, like on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm not sure how common that is nowadays. Are you going to took me as a visitor or nah? I was about to get into that in a second, but yeah, I will probably go as a visitor. Not for all days, most likely. It kind of depends. I mean, I'm thinking by summer I should hopefully have a job by then. As like I would have to work on the Friday. Hopefully. But yeah, actually on that topic, so how can add image? On that topic, I pinged the Discord for something. I got a fancy email a couple of days ago. Yeah. I got rejected from Dokumi. Specifically for the artist booth. Did it just disappear? I don't mean to do that, but yeah. Yeah, basically, I got. What does upside mean? It said rejection right after that. But yeah, I got rejected from the artist alley at Dokumi. The unemployed fellow, I'm sorry. Yeah, got rejected. I am on the waitlist. But also not gonna lie, I think I will get off of the waitlist at like March, maybe May, something like that. Because I also don't want to suddenly within like a month have to arrange everything for a booth. To be fair, I think like about 2/3, maybe 3/4 of all artists that I know got rejected from Dokumi this year. Again, like last year. So rejection in German, yeah. So yeah, basically, I most likely am not gonna have a booth at Dokumi. Kind of whatever. Honestly, I'm not too pressed about it because it does mean that instead I can focus on other things. Like otherwise I would have to do like con preparation, which I've never been to a con, so for me that would be especially much. Because like I'd have to get all the equipment, I'd have to figure out how the fuck do you print stickers, or where do you even print stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna be there as a visitor. I might, if I find the time, I might still get like stickers or like a sticker sheet. And then like if someone recognizes me at Dokumi, I'll just hand them a sticker sheet or something. Just so like I can actually hand out something. um but they're obviously not gonna sell anything. Because I think that's illegal if I would. um Internet, don't die on me now. Yeah, basically, I didn't stream for like a couple of weeks. As I said, I did the forbidden thing of like you debut a model and then you just disappear and don't stream anymore because you're losing the hype and whatever. Not that really matters for me. But yeah, I spent some time. I mean, like the last time that I streamed was like before Christmas. So yeah, I guess I hope you guys had a good Christmas and New Year's and start of the year. And I didn't stream in way too long actually. Spread the breadstick. I was thinking of doing that. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good time since I last streamed. I took a lot of time just to like, kind of prepare some stuff. I also got sick in between, but that's whatever. I already messed up this year, 2027, my year for real. Too relatable. But yeah, I just like prepared some stuff. I finished art. I guess I can quickly show that. I also had to clean up my entire like stream setup OBS. So as I said, if like the sound seems weird or anything seems off, do let me know. Cause there might be some fucky wuckies. I haven't fucked around with the microphone too much. But yeah. I guess for those that didn't see on my socials, I finished this drawing. And I finished the Raora. I managed to actually say it somewhat decently for once. They actually both did surprisingly well. Unfortunately, I don't think Raora saw herself. Like, saw her, like, my fan art for her. Oh well. We'll get them next time, I guess. And the Juju ended surprisingly well, but in a weird way. Where, like, I posted her, like, during European Day. Like, the entire day, there was just nothing. Like, I was just, like, fully accepted by the end of the day that the post bombed. Like, it got, I think, not even 100 likes or something entire day. I went to bed, I woke up, and apparently it exploded overnight. It seems like the Brazilians found me. I don't know why, but like most of the accounts were just like Brazilian specifically or Portuguese. Ass enjoys, I guess. But yeah, and unfortunately, even though they posted really well, holy shit, I'm not drawing Xenoson Zero ever again. I think the comments were awful. Dude, I had like straight up, I think 10 comments being like, "It's Grok, make her naked. Have her wear a. What the fuck did someone write? There was like, put her in a single strand of floss or some shit like that. Or if someone tried to like have her turned around, which Grok did, but it looked so plasticky. It was whack. Also, like, I straight up had to like easily block 100 people that followed me because they were like AI accounts or porn bots and stuff like that. It was weird, man. That's just a Twitter problem? No, it's not. I've had more than enough tweets pop off and never had a reaction like that. Like, even with other streams, like, the Firefly that I posted had like very similar reach and stuff like that. The comments were still off, but that's just the Hoyoverse community, I think. But yeah, it seems more like a community issue, I guess. Like, the comments on the Oda's artwork were fine. There was just someone saying something that someone commented something about like Jason Derulo bubblegum, and I looked at their message for like a solid 10 seconds and just couldn't figure out what the fuck they're talking about. Other than that, the comments were really nice on that one. But yeah, Troy Wooger. Did I Troy Wooger? Feedback? Nah. But yeah, anyways, those drawings at least did well. I did also in the meantime open up VGen for commissions, just in case. There haven't been any requests yet. Oh well. But just to like have that already. Did my phone just die? No, it didn't. Wait, I talked about this thing, that thing. Right, I got new equipment. You might have been able to hear it in the beginning of stream. I got a new keyboard, a new mouse. Because holy shit, my previous keyboard and mouse was so fucking loud. I unfortunately did a blunder where like now, like I both needed like quieter gear and stuff, but also my mouse and keyboard were like so absolutely old. That like on my keyboard, the letters on each key cap, yeah, that's the word. Like the letters were literally already falling off, and my mouse like just died. Unfortunately, my keyboard is now silent, but my mouse sounds like I'm activating a fucking gun trigger every time I use it. So I'm kind of afraid of even clicking it on stream right now. Like it's just a bit too loud for a mouse. I don't know why. Gotta bring a mouse pad next. Ah. Yeah, and like same thing as I said before. Do let me know if the sound is fine. Cause like I try to adjust a little bit to hopefully have the audio sound a bit better. I still have to experiment with that. That's kind of what the stream today is also for. Just like for me to, well, show that I'm still alive. I will be back to streaming. I currently already have a sketch cooking up. I just need like one more day to work on that. I would have used today to work on it, but so wait. So basically, I did the unthinkable for the unemployed, which is have an interview, a job interview. Hello, Dictum. What is up, Arco Anus? Hello, Dictum. Man. Well, so yeah, I did the unthinkable for the unemployed. I got a job interview like last Thursday. And because I read that everywhere online, because my host mom advised me to, like my American host mom told me to follow up with them And because during the interview, I can talk about it a bit more in a second. During the interview, I got not a credit card. I keep forgetting what they're called. The card that has your name and your phone number. What the fuck is it called? It's not a credit card, man. Not the ID card, dude. I mean the cards that you hand out. You don't hand out your ID cards. Visitenkarte English. Business card. My. I mean a business card. He gave me his business card and told me if I have any questions, I can call him, and that I should call him. And now the thing is, he didn't just tell me once. He didn't tell me twice. He didn't tell me 3 times. He didn't even tell me 4 times. He kept on going on about it. I think he ended up saying like 8 times that if I have any questions to please call him. Like he kept repeating that multiple times. So, because everyone under the sun is telling me to follow up with them. I called them at like 11 a.m. today. Yeah, he didn't pick up. I spoke to his voicemail. And now it's 6 p.m. Yeah. He really wanted to hear a voice again. But why is he not picking up? Why is he not calling? Got shy. Sounds like man is kinda lovely. Now, from what I understood, though, it's like, a good show that you're actually interested in a job and such. Seems to be very common in the US. I'm not gonna lie, I've heard of it way less in Germany. Fuck, someone actually called back. What do I do, Kia? Man. But yeah, basically, like, I called at like 11 a.m. I already prepared like multiple questions too, just to seem like really interested. And also because I genuinely wanted to know about those questions in case I do get the job. And yeah, I then spent like the last 7 hours just kind of on call, like actively waiting. So a voice I would have drawn today and then I could have streamed art tomorrow, but I guess you're gonna have to wait another day. Speaking of art, I'm not coping. I am over the booty arc. The next drawing is not going to be a butt. I promise. And this is not just me yapping again. The sketch does not have a butt on it. For real, for real. But yeah, you're gonna see the day after tomorrow. I'll probably stream then. What arc next? Just normal art. Actually, the next drawing that I do want to make is going to be quite a drift off of what I usually would draw. It's a lot more like practice related and advertisement related, I guess. Like, it's going to be a mock-up of merch, a specific type of merchandise. I'm also probably gonna have to put a disclaimer somewhere that I'm not sponsored by a certain beverage company. What do you see? I don't have teasers to show right now, unfortunately. But yeah, basically I had that interview. It was my first interview for a job too. So as you might be able to, I kind of fucked the interview. I was so stressed out. I don't know why I've been to interviews before, especially for like sponsorship interviews that had like thousands of euros behind that shit. No problem, but a fucking job interview. absolutely stressed me the fuck out. Now, luckily, my interview was like really nice, and he like talked a lot, explained a lot about himself, about the company and stuff, and like showed me different things. But also because of that, I feel like I didn't really make an impression. Um, but yeah, like if I don't get it, that just means more art for you. More on technical side or general? Technical side or general what? So my first interview, I get used to it soon. Yeah, that's what I heard from everyone too. I mean, I probably didn't seem too stressed. It's just I didn't really make much of an impression. I think I didn't take the chance to make an impression. Really, I think. But yeah, whatever. Job too stressful already. Stay unemployed. You mean if the interview was technical or general? It was a general interview. They already had like most of my information with like what skills I have, what certifications I have, shit like that. But yeah, anyways, it was just funny that I was told like 7 fucking times to please call them again. And I called them and I just wait the last 7 hours and nothing. Like I don't think they're gonna. If you suddenly hear a ringtone and you see me still talk but I'm muted, that means I got a call. um, what else did I want to talk about? Haven't you seen my Twitter on those big yachts? I did actually have to write on my CV that I have like my own business. And then like there's the funny thing of like I draw art, but technically speaking, according to the German government, I'm a social media advisor and content manager. Yeah. um I'm officially not an artist, I guess. But yeah, otherwise I hope you guys have been doing well. Um I don't know, honestly, I haven't looked at Twitter too much because it feels like there's just drama there all the time. Like on most social medias, honestly. I also just don't feel like using TikTok and shit anymore because it's always just news and politics. Like I've had to filter my TikTok quite a bit just to not get as much politics and shit like that. I open TikTok for memes, not for information. I'm managing yachts, yeah. But actually, imagine using TikTok. I only like use it before bed, or like when I get up, or like when I'm awake but I don't want to get up out of bed yet. Um, but actually, I did also want to talk about. So I last stream I mentioned that I'm gonna do more stuff in like the content creator direction, and so, like, as the new year started and stuff, I took some time aside to kind of research a bunch. And, dude, how do I put this? There's like a lot of parallels between learning art and learning YouTube. And this might sound kind of weird at first, but it's like the way that information is like shared and stuff like that feels very similar in that there's so much bullshit around. Let me actually very quickly see. I wrote down some notes that I think I could just share on stream. Because yeah, as I said, I want to do more in terms of like content creation. Um, YouTube videos, stuff like that. I'm still gonna do art, by the way. I think some people might have understood that I'm done with art. I'm not. It's just art is gonna stay a side thing. It's probably gonna stay my primary thing actually. But I do want to like just do more. Just do more. Periods. A little bit. Let me quickly go here. Can I? Ah, right. I forgot. Wait, I forgot to say. I have new emotes. The emotes that I announced quite a while ago, finally arrived. They were finally finished and delivered to me. And I just have to share real quick. When I got my emotes, like after I gave the final check and said, yeah, it's fine, whatever. When I got the final folder, the final delivery folder and stuff like that. Wait, I need to move the chat. I just noticed. Okay. Yeah, there. So when I got my my final emotes, I got like entire folder with like all of the different resolutions for the emotes and stuff like that. And then in the folder there was like an important folder with like how to give credit and stuff to the artist. And like the first file in that folder was literally I did not expect that. But it was just that. And then the actual like emote showcase there. So yeah, the emotes are finally done. The artist of it is Amadis Luna. Let me quickly. There. Amadis Luna or Imamaris or Amadis Luna at Blue Sky, Instagram, whatever. Let me. There. Base artist. She was so nice to work with. I've seen the emotes a lot with like newer VTubers and stuff. I'm not sure how long they've been doing emote commissions and stuff like that, but I get like hella lucky in that I just randomly, sometime in November, I think, was looking around for emote artists because like one of the main emote artists, or like one emote artist that I really want to commission, they're constantly close. And with them, Amadis Luna, I wanted to like check when they open again. And the exact time that I open their Twitter, it said like, yeah, in half an hour she's gonna open commissions again. So I was like perfectly timed to immediately get a slot. And yeah, there they are. They are. I think some of them are Twitch follow emotes. So this Kita just used one. Hello Kita, by the way. They're also on Discord already, as you probably saw. It's only those 8 for now. I might commission more later. Whenever she opens again. And yeah. Bottom left, of course, is just me spilling milk. That's why the emote is called Aku Milk. Definitely. Actually, also like 4 of them are your character years. The other 4 are custom made. Don't ask me which ones are your character year, by the way. But it was really nice to work with them. They were incredibly fast. And dude, I being an emote artist is different. Like, I cannot draw emotes for shit, I feel. Why is the song so quiet? I don't know. But yeah, on a different note, actually, I just kind of quickly want to share the stuff that I was looking into how to actually do like YouTube videos and stuff like that, like what to look out for and everything like that. Because I kind of prefer to plan out things a bit more instead of just like jumping into it and then not going anywhere really. And I actually wrote down some notes. Let me quickly get them on a different screen. I noticed I really need to get a second monitor. Because holy shit, how do people, like, dude, if you do VTubing stuff, you have so many fucking programs open And just having one monitor is actual CBT, I swear to God. Wait, let me see. By the way, if you see me close my eyes and stuff like that, that actually is me looking down at my drawing tablet. I'm gonna have to fix it after stream. It's just my drawing tablet is so much lower that the camera is seeing me with my eyes closed. Get 2 monitors and a Steam Deck? Stream Deck? I probably need to get a Stream Deck, honestly. Gremlin model is Naruto running. But yeah, wait. That's wrong. There. Wow, you can see you. Incredible. I'm gonna hope there's not any compromising information is gonna pop up, but whatever. I kind of like wrote down some notes and shit like that. Just as I said, I kind of prefer to kind of research more and then try instead of just like doing random shit and hoping that something sticks. Maybe I'm also just overthinking stuff a little bit. Actually, also like on the entire topic of like YouTube content and everything, I'm not 100% sure. Not gonna lie, what kind of content I'm gonna do next. Actually, wait. Let me hang on. I need to get an internet browser for this shit. 1 second. Like, I was kind of thinking, what kind of content I want to do, what kind of content I don't want to do. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go kinda in the direction of video essays, but not really. Which sounds kind of stupid. Also, what the fuck even is a video essay? Because it feels like everyone is doing video essays nowadays. But there's a YouTuber that I really like, that I think some of you might know, called Bricky. Because they actually like collab quite a lot with VTubers. Just, I think not around the sphere that I'm active in. Who Bricky? Give me a second. Why is it not? I think my lack of experience as a streamer is shining through. Why is it not? Hello? Wait, I am so hella confused. Give me a second. I swear to God, I feel like a monkey trying to control a spaceship. Let me. Whoop whoop. With like how much shit you have to like switch between. Why is that a thing? Hang on. Oh, just wait a moment. I mean, as I said earlier in the stream, today is gonna be Scuff stream because it's kind of just me testing some shit, seeing what works and what doesn't work, and apparently capturing internet browser in OBS is like just not possible right now. Why? Window capture, it's not detecting it. No, wait, I should not have that visible yet. And now magically it works. I did nothing. And it magically works. Yes, sorry about the flashback. will get replaced by AI. Can't even share a browser window. I'm so sorry. Oh, it works. Okay, thank God. So there. Also, I'm not logged in. Ignore that it's all English. Can I? English India. English India is a thing? Anyways, Bricky. Basically, he kinda does video essays, but not like the pretentious kind, where it's more like he takes the game, not Bricky, but like he takes the kind of game where it's same as UK. I've never heard of that being like a setting or whatever. But anyways, he also talks about Warhammer 40k, but I have no idea about that. I'm not really into Warhammer. I like the world of Warhammer, but I'm overwhelmed trying to get into it, so I'm just not gonna. But yeah, it's like he takes different games and then talks about like the game, but in a way where you hit up on like larger topics on it. So for example, he talked about Arc Raiders, which if you haven't heard of Arc Raiders is like a extraction shooter like Escape from Tarkov, I mean. Wherein like you have your character, you equip them, you send them out on a mission that has like other players in a certain area, you loot stuff, you kill each other, you leave. And then like whatever you manage to like escape with, you keep. And like if you die, you just like leave everything there. Whatever. Arc Raider specifically is like one of those that really popped off, but it also was kind of controversial, or is kind of controversial, because it actually uses AI. And like as you can tell by the length of the video, he spends so much time actually like really going into depth on like the entire topic of AI and how it is used in that game specifically. Because it's not just like generative AI, as in like, you know, AI slop where it just like it's AI generated textures and like shit like that. But debatably, arguably, it is a kind of AI that under certain circumstances is fine. Depending on if it's done ethically, and it's a thing where like unlike generative AI for videos or pictures or music and stuff like that, where it cannot be made ethically because of like how much material is needed. In Arc Raiders specifically, every game has AI, yeah, but you know. That's like kind of what he also goes into, where it's like some of the AI in Arc Raiders specifically is what I've known for years now as machine learning. Where like, hang on, let me quickly ads. I'm gonna try to quickly find it in the video. But basically, like, some of the AI, quote unquote, in Arc Raiders is basically machine learning. As in, the game has enemies. Oh, so he. he does certain bits and skits in the game. In the videos, I mean, Jesus Christ. But yeah, with the enemies in the game, like, some of them are boss, but some of them are also drones and stuff like that. And like the drones have this thing where like if you shoot off one of their little not fans, I like turbines or whatever that keeps them floating. If you destroy one of them, you can see it like dynamically adapt to try and continue flying with one less turbine. And that's like AI powered machine learning bullshittery. Sorry if you just heard my phone. As I said, I'm waiting for a call. Unfortunately, my phone thought it's very important for me to know that it's partially cloudy. It's 6 p.m. and dark outside. Thanks for nothing, phone. Like another kind of AI that they use in Arc Raiders is AI voice modulation, where like the voice actors in the game for like callouts and stuff like that didn't say every single line, but it's more like they created voice banks or whatever they're called, and essentially it generates the voice lines that should be spoken in whatever way they should be spoken, instead of it being like pre-recorded, so to speak. Or like another thing, for example, is that you can put AI like voice filters on your own microphone in the game, and like, as I said, he talks quite a lot about the entire topic. I think it's this entire section called "Tricked You Leper Upon Me," where he talks about like the ethics behind that kind of shit. And that, for example, the way that like the AI is used, the voice modulation AI, for example, if it was done ethically, if this like if the voice actors get a continuous cut or like a continuous like usage payment or whatever, it can be argued that it's actually like perfectly valid, also because it's used to like, you know, protect people. Because if you're like a woman, you can use the voice modulation thing to change your voice to a guy's, and like no one is gonna know. Also like offers protection and stuff like that. That is all to just say that like I really like that kind of type of voice video essays. I can't speak. Where it's like still gaming related, but you use the games to talk about like larger topics. I think White Light sometimes does videos like that too. Sometimes, not always though. I think their stuff is like more video game oriented and stuff. Also hello Shinoki. Because like a lot of, like I noticed for myself that like a lot of the full-on video essays, I used to be really interested in them, but I don't see myself doing that. And I also wouldn't. I'm also just not really that much into them anymore. There was also like a while ago, I talked with some friends about the topic of doing YouTube videos and stuff like that. And they gave me some feedback on the entire topic. Hang on, I'm trying to see if it's going to properly window capture that stuff. The interesting thing that I also saw is like most streamers, for some reason, don't do YouTube. Or if they do YouTube, they all do the exact same thing. On that topic, like Bricky talked about that kind of stuff as well. That for some reason, like with him coming from YouTube to Twitch, for him streaming is much harder. Well, like for most streamers, making proper YouTube videos is harder. But yeah, basically, I think I'm gonna try to do content more along the lines of like Bricky. Maybe also stuff like edutainment or whatever it's called. I do not remember the name anymore. There was like one VTuber that explained like how to do VTuber designs. Let me. How would I find them? They were like a mushroom fun. Wait, fungi. Yeah. Where like she, for example, like explains how to do like VTuber designs and stuff like that. In a way that's like supposed to be entertaining, but also still like a teaching kind of thing. Which I might also be interested in. Obviously, that kind of stuff would be more like I do that completely on the side, like outside of streaming and everything like that. I was also thinking that I do want to do what was his name again? Like, because I do also want to stream more variety, I finally want to get more into like gaming streams. My internet's willing and permitting. Because like this stream already, I'm not sure if like anyone noticed, but my internet was absolutely shitting itself earlier. It kind of caught itself and stabilized over like the last 20 minutes. That was also like the reason why I didn't stream for like a bit, because my internet absolutely died. um but yeah, I actually also want to do like more variety streams, probably horror streams, because or horror games, because I just really like horror games. um but for example, I think was yeah, them. uh I only watch them like occasionally, just like to binge some of the content, stuff like that. um Hot as fuck, the epitome of a man. Where it's just like they use the streams to like play smaller games. There was some game that they played that I saw that I really want to try. Yeah, this game. I think it's called Voices of the Void or something like that. Is he funny? I like his content. He has like a lot of like crackhead energy, so I don't watch him all the time. But it's basically like he plays certain games on stream and just kind of super cuts them essentially. And like as I said, I kind of want to stream more variety in general. Voices of the Void, I've been looking at since like forever, and I've been meaning to stream and play it since forever. Voices of the Void. It's like a horror game. Dude, fuck off. It's like a horror game. That is very like subtle, much more low key and shit like that. Max level. I'm not sure honestly if I have watched any Maxer content recently. Like have I watched them? I don't think I've watched them in forever. So I actually like straight up can't tell. Yeah, no, I genuinely don't know. Because I haven't watched Maxer. But yeah, as I said, I kinda want to do more like variety streaming. Probably kind of a little focus on horror games. Also, hello Soda. I do also want to add like kind of chat interactivity wherever possible, or do like, you know, not just play the game because that's fucking boring. That like, you know, instead of me just playing game, you could just play the game yourself. Or just Elden Ring and Ultra Kill. Okay. Will do. I'm trying to think like the Voice of the Void playthrough, quote unquote, that he did. Like he added so many dumb mods to it and everything. Or he also played, yeah, he called it Dark Souls with Dementia, where it's basically just like Dark Souls with like a mod that like all the text was like translated 10 times to like some obscure language that like translates really poorly in Google Translator and then back to English. And so like all the text is just kind of vague nonsense. You also play with like an animation randomizer and stuff like that. But yeah, I was thinking of kind of doing a mix of those two people. Like, I don't want to do like regular ass Let's Plays, because I think that's kind of dead. Also from like everything that I've seen. um, yeah. I'm not entirely sure yet when exactly I would start with those streams. I would probably just have to do a test stream eventually to see if my internet can handle it. I mean, worst case, I can always just like record it, like the entire I can record while streaming and then just like worst case, even if my internet dies on stream, I can just upload the full thing on YouTube, so it's fine. But yeah, that's just like something for the future that I have to figure out. Then so play those games on stream, after those streams make content and post on YouTube. Yeah. Like what I'm basically trying to say is like I want to do more variety streams. In terms of the YouTube content I want to do, it would be like a mix of what I do on stream, but also like actually dedicated content. More along the lines of like video essays, quote unquote. Give me just one tiny second, by the way. Okay, I'll have to check back with that thing later. But yeah, I'm still gonna do like art primarily. Don't worry about that. I'm not immediately gonna stream art tomorrow. I need another day to just refine the sketch. So probably stream Wednesday, I think. Unless something scoots into my plans. Should be stream Wednesday. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I kind of don't like. I know that so far, from what I've described, what I want to do in terms of like, content, it's very vague. That's kind of because I don't want to like announce something specifically. Also, like kind of lock myself down to something specifically because it would just end up disappointing for me or for you. Like I know that quite a lot of like VTubers specifically for some reason get really stuck on gachas, and I'm kind of burning out on gachas, not gonna lie. But you know, I could, for example, like stream Agnes Enfield whenever that is released. I can't remember again. I barely have been keeping track on that game, honestly. But like I wouldn't want to make that like a main point or whatever. I think I'm still primarily an artist and stuff. But yeah, actually one thing that I can also share really quick is some of the notes that I've written down while I was kind of like looking into like researching and stuff like that. Why did it just disappear? Man. Like I made notes on like YouTube content, stuff like that. Because I also like coincidentally at the beginning of the year got like a bunch of videos and stuff recommended to me that were kind of fitting to it. Speaking of gacha, I played so Palace CVT1. Good game and I have also it. It looked really nice so far from what I've seen, yeah. I'm gonna look into that. Different from typical Oyo and Bua. Actually, like at the beginning of the year, as I was kind of like thinking about what kind of content do I really want to do. Of course, fucking the FBI agent on the other side of the monitor knew what I was thinking about and started recommending me YouTube videos. And the one time that I go to Reddit to post the art that I finished for like Juyuan and Raoda and stuff like that, I get a fucking subreddit perfectly on that topic. So, you know, if you need to look for something, just like make sure you're saying it while your phone is nearby. Apparently it helps. At least my personal FBI agent is very helpful. Thank you, by the way. But I kind of just like took some notes off of like I've literally never watched him before. Like there was a channel called Guns, Nerds, and Steel that does like 7 Days to Die content. Like 7 Days to Die is like a zombie survival sandbox-y game. Bro likes your art, I guess. And I specifically from them saw like a retrospective on like the years that they made content and like what worked, what didn't work. And they also kind of confirmed the stuff like classic Let's Plays are kind of dead. Which is honestly the thing that I keep seeing so many people do and then complain that it doesn't work and stuff. Which I think it's just like a result of like how content has changed, how like the internet has changed as well. Because like when I remember that when I was younger, you could hang on, let me quickly show an example. When I was younger, Let's Plays were like really new, really unexplored up until that point. They're like you doing Let's Plays. Like Let's Plays, by the way, I think it's more of a German thing. Or I'm not entirely sure if it originated from Germany, but it was absolutely massive in Germany for some reason. That's also why like the Twitch and YouTube community has so many German people because it's like such a big thing in Germany for some reason. But like back when I was a child, there like were so many Let's Players, like the actual like classic Let's Players where you just play a game while narrating it for like a couple hundreds like episodes and stuff like that. And people were growing massively doing that, so there were so many thousands of people trying to imitate that without success, and especially nowadays it feels kind of dead, honestly. Like I remember specifically when I grew up, I think I was like 9 years old or something back then, like opening up YouTube for like the first time, and the first thing that I see is like a German YouTuber called Gronk, who now is like one of the largest German YouTubers as well. I think basically everyone that has been vaguely on the internet in Germany that is my age knows who the fuck that is. Him. He, I don't know. I like the way he looks. He looks very trustworthy too, man. But like, I remember opening up YouTube back then, and like, I just saw like his fucking episode 300 something of Minecraft, and he ended up having like 1,400 episodes of Minecraft, I think. I can't exactly remember. Wait, let me. Minecraft. Like, yeah. I mean, initially, because this shit is so old, that was like from over 10 years ago or something like that. Back then, videos had to be like less than 15 minutes. Like, that old. But the later episodes are obviously longer. But still, fucking 1,400 episodes is like years worth of content, whatever. But basically, it straight up is the like, what used to be back then too. The like, if you just mention like, do you know that one guy on YouTube that does like those couple hundred episodes of Minecraft Let's Play, and everyone would know it's fucking Gronk. Whereas like nowadays, if like if nowadays, whether you're really into Minecraft or just like occasionally watch it or something, if I was to say or like ask, do you know that one Minecraft hardcore YouTuber with the that one Minecraft hardcore YouTuber that has hundreds of episodes building a huge world with mega structures that has a like universal lore attached to it, you would kind of just have to ask who? Because there's like so many people doing that nowadays. It's like not to say that it doesn't work, it does work, but it's like there are so like certain fields, especially in like the normal Let's Play stuff, is so oversaturated. Hello Nami, by the way. The G in Gronk stands for goat. When he reveals face, Yoshino was surprised it's him. That's the guy. Yeah, he does really look the way that he sounds too. Which is kind of crazy. Yeah, by the way, if I ever face reveal, I do not look the way that I sound. I'm very sorry to disappoint. I do not look close to this. I do not look close to anything you're probably imagining with my voice. Joe can actually confirm because Joe has seen me before. Joe also knows that officially I'm 6 foot. I remember at Dokumi that like Joe was right next to me. I think I just asked Joe like how tall he is. He was like 6 foot. And like I look up at him like that and I'm just like, yeah, I'm also 6 foot, by the way, officially. While I'm literally looking up at him. Jeez, Joe is tall. I have the issue that my ID for some reason says that I'm 6 foot tall. I mean, I know why. It's because the last time that I got measured was when I was 17 in the US. So I had an American doctor just being like, haha, hey Lamau, I can write 6 feet instead of 5 foot 10. I think I'm 5 foot 10. I'm like 178, something like that. But yeah, like my ID now says 6 foot or like 183 centimeters. Well, I'm only like 176 or something. Bryson 5'3". Cute. Small. I mean, isn't that average actually? Or for like European women? Average C's. I'm sorry. I mean, you're you're not massive, you're very tall. Yeah. But you know, like back then, like Let's Plays used to be really much of a thing and stuff. For some reason, like people nowadays still try to do that in like the laziest ways possible. Well, because they still expect to have like the same results and stuff like that. Hang on, let me quickly make sure there. And like I specifically like looked through after I got like a pretty good post on subreddit. I looked through the subreddit and there was like some examples for what I'm about to say. But yeah, basically everyone's saying like normal let's plays are that. That guy kind of went to like what worked for him and stuff like that. One thing that I found really interesting is that he said that autopilot is the enemy. And that really made me think of like how close that is to art in a weird way. And kind of did post on a subreddit, kind of confirmed that too. Where I noticed that like a lot of people in art that don't really improve have exactly that issue that they go on autopilot. It's something that I talked about quite a lot of times on stream. That like with art is really hard to improve in. Because, you know, it's hard to find a teacher and you need like a lot of self-reflection to kind of self-analyze your art and see where you could improve and stuff. So a lot of people just end up going on autopilot and just like letting natural improvement take over, which eventually stops. Just because Dutch people are like 2 meters doesn't mean I'm small. Sure. Yeah, I just like kind of took some notes. As I said, when I was like posting to a subreddit for like the 2 drawings that I finished this month, I randomly got a post from a subreddit. I think it was literally the subreddit r/let's play 2. There was a post of someone like anonymously sharing their experience with like content creation. And like specifically noteworthy, it seems pretty legit because they didn't write it in a way that's like too sophisticated. But more like they want to quickly share their experiences and they used numbers that were very realistic. And yeah, there was like one important thing there too, on like the topic of autopilot is the enemy. They wrote that every video that flopped, they would study like, why? Like thumbnail not clear the distance, title too vague, first 30 seconds boring, pacing too slow. Most creators just upload and hope, you need to diagnose failures. And this part reminds me so much of art. Maybe I'm seeing things. But it's like this specific thing of like the thumbnail not clear distance is something that I do all the time in art. But like the entire process of like after you're done with art to like distance yourself from it and try to analyze which parts worked, which parts didn't work is something that I do with art all the time to try and improve in that. It's just like something interesting that I noticed as a trend between the materials and stuff. There was also then one, like, when I then tried to look through the subreddit for, like, if anyone else wrote anything interesting, I kept coming across, like, Redditors, basically. You know, like, there's a difference between people that use Reddit and Redditors. Most likely anyone here is not a Redditor, or just someone that uses Reddit. But this Redditors that just, dude, like, there were so many cases where I'd see, like, someone ask for advice and stuff like that. Or they would, like, propose what kind of content they want to make. And then someone comes along and is like, it's not a research project, just record and post it. I already made a post on this topic a while ago. And you know, like, someone writing like that, it sounds like either they really know what they're doing, or exactly the opposite. They have no idea what they're doing, but they have an ego. And you know, like, I looked into them. They use the same name as the YouTube. You know, like, 3 views Andy is like, I already made a post on this topic. It's not a research project. And then they easily, immediately break like all the basic stuff that you would immediately learn of, like, you need a custom thumbnail, custom title. There needs to be a hook in the thumbnail or title. This Christmas update, I quickly looked into that. It's a static picture for 16 minutes while they mumble with the worst audio quality imaginable. And you know, like, I don't want to make fun of this person, but it's like, this kind of person has this kind of attitude. And like, it's not a research project, just record and post it. But yeah, it works really well, dude. Actually, the only content for them that did well, because you can sort by popular on YouTube as well, the only content for them that did really well, like, I mean, millions of views well, wasn't their content. They just uploaded game OSTs. They actually had one, there was one video too, because like, they uploaded video game OSTs that they don't actually own, of course, but because it did well, they then tried to do it again to like upload more video game OSTs, and then they titled it, instead of Let's Play, they titled it Let's Hear. I wish I had that kind of audacity, man. But yeah, that was really, you know, that, and then trying to go onto YouTube and finding more advice there. Dude, there are so many grifters. Like, there are so many people trying to pretend that they know what's up, that they know shit. It is so frustratingly fun to see. There was also, like, another thing when I talked to friends a while ago. So, a while ago, maybe bro was critiquing himself. I don't think he has the self-awareness for that. Quite a while ago, I was thinking of actually doing a video already. So, just in case you haven't heard about it, there was a game a while ago called Concord. Basically, kind of a vague imitation on the concept of Overwatch, where you have like hero shooters. Let me quickly. Let me quickly switch the thingy. Oof. I don't mean the plane. I mean this game, not the plane. Basically, it was kind of a hero PvP team-based hero shooter that absolutely flopped. I think it died after like less than a month or something. Like they actually took the game down, even though it had like millions of euros or dollars of like production costs. And one of the very common critiques is like, what the fuck are these character designs? And I remember seeing like a video on the entire topic of a apparently professional designer of some kind, where he would like take the characters and try to analyze and like explain why do the character designs suck so much. And then shortly after Concord died, Killing Floor 3 came out. Now, I am a Killing Floor fanboy. Killing Floor is basically like a PvE zombie shooter. And like Killing Floor 2 and 1 had like they were basically known for having insanely good gun feel. Like with Killing Floor 2, for example, they specifically recorded footage of the guns at like 200 frames per second. So that like in the game when you would go into what's it called? When the slowdown, like when the time slows down, stuff like that, you would still have like perfect 60 FPS animations for the guns, so everything would feel fluent as fuck. And basically, I absolutely adored Killing Floor 2. A lot of people adored Killing Floor 2. And then Killing Floor 3 came out, and they decided we're gonna make specialists. Where like, you can't just have your character and then the kind of role that they have. Because the game had like different roles. Like you could be a berserker, like a melee unit. Or you could be the medic that heals people. But like the actual character it used doesn't matter. And as Killing Floor 3 developed, for some reason they decided we need to make them specialists. Like
Happy
if
new
you
birthday year, Marijaku.
Kiwi. Happy new birthday year, marriage. Thank you. Thank you for the tier 1 sub, Kiwi. Enjoy the emotes. Especially the new ones, actually. We have new emotes. Use them. Enjoy them. And thank you so much, by the way. I've several times made the Reddit topics discussed. Thinking back to the admin, I'm just like, oh, just do random bullshit that will fix it 100%. Yeah. But yeah, basically, shortly after like the entire Concord thing, Killing Floor 3 came out, and everyone was counting on the designs. Because the designs were like super put into focus and shit like that. And I was actually thinking back then of making a video on it. Like, basically doing what the one guy did for Concord, but with Killing Floor 3 instead. And actually back then when I asked friends on like their feedback on the entire topic, they actually told me that I should reconsider if I want to make negative content like that. Let me think. Yeah, him. He made like multiple videos, like breaking down design, trying to explain why it doesn't work, how you could improve them, stuff like that. And you know, since it's like a really artistic thing too, it's something that I could do as well. I don't have too much like that much character design experience, but I do have enough of like a grasp on it to comment on it. And I was even thinking of like getting other artists with more character design experience to maybe star in that video and stuff. But as I said, like I had friends discourage me from doing that and like asking whether I really want to make more negative content at the end of the day, like my thing. So I didn't end up actually going through with it. The other thing that I also noticed is, you know, those videos did insanely well. Like almost 1 million views and stuff like that. But like negativity just doesn't last. Like that's not to like talk shit about their skills or whatever. But you know, like a lot of the people that were there for those kind of videos, like shitting on Concord, obviously don't stick around for like the actual content or the actual person behind the channel and stuff. And that's why I can already announce that like I'm gonna stick as far away from like negative content as possible. It costs way too much energy for too little rewards. And I especially wouldn't want to look back at what I've done. And it's just like constant negativity. I see the issue there. You need to stop listening to your friends. No. Where did my notes go again? There. And yeah, also like this kind of shit. I made a secret faceless YouTube channel to prove it's not luck. Dude, there's so many videos like that. And like they speaking on like I don't want negative content and not to shit on anyone. These kind of videos are like a dime a dozen and they're such dog shit. There's so many manipulative strategies in those kinds of videos. On like this one in particular, for example, they demonstrate in the beginning how to fake this number to try and show like, hey, but you see, I'm not doing that, so I'm trustworthy. And then like the actual tip that they explain is just you need to find a hyper niche, which is like, and like the examples that they give are like downright insane. Like you could make a video on road construction in a certain area. That's a micro niche that works. You can make a YouTube channel on, I think they mention like plastic bottles or something like that. Plastic bottle designs. That's a micro niche that works. Here are 3 YouTube channels like that I did, and it's like the most slop content that has like no artistic soul or expression to it. I mean, I guess it helped in the sense that like I know that I don't want to do that kind of content. So, you know, there's something there at least. And like the only useful videos that I found coincidentally were of people that I already know. Like Martin Pants. I think, I'm not sure if they stream on Twitch, they do on YouTube. They made like a really ironic video on that topic that unironically, for being 6 minutes long, had so many good points in it. Because they use like irony to say like, you know, if you don't want to be a YouTuber, but like, they basically said what to do to fuck up. So from that, you just deduct like, you do the opposite, or you don't do that kind of stuff. Or like, this one is by the tier list thing, where he just like goes through most of the YouTube advice and stuff like that. And they bring up like the Namu. What did it just say? Anyways. Nami, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. Enjoy the emotes. Enjoy the bread. Thank you. I mean, Ludwig did that and showed how it really is. I think showed on stream way to get 1 viewer. I have my gripes with Ludwig's video on that topic as well. Cause it's, I mean, Ludwig, like the way that he showed is the way that like Miskiff also got successful. But it's like, how do I put this? So it's like a very similar thing to like getting a job nowadays. Where it's like, you can either approach it from the perspective of like, do anything as long as you get the bag. Or do the thing that you love, even if you don't get the bag. While in reality, you try to find the thing in between. Like, that's literally exactly why I study medical engineering. It's not that I woke up as like a baby and I thought, I'm gonna be a medical engineer. But it was like, I knew that I love biology, but that biology doesn't bring money. I know that engineering brings money, but I don't want to do engineering. So I take the thing in between, which is medical engineering, which is still, I like it enough, and it brings some money. And it's like, I feel like it's a similar thing with YouTube content, or like content in general, streaming too, where it's like, you don't have to sell your soul for money, but you also don't approach the entire thing as like, I'm only doing it for fun. Ideally, you want to have fun and earn money. That's not illegal. This made content people get paid a lot. Yeah, this is what this is about. There's also like the link to I think that was a course that obviously you have to pay for. Yeah. I will enjoy them. Good. Always have some sort of backup. I mean that too. Yeah, that definitely too. Like I'm not gonna full on 100% invest into content creation or like freelancing, I guess. Self-employment basically. Also because I've had a lot of friends and people that did manage to do it. All of them basically said to at least have a safety net of a year that you live off of until shit gets going. Same actually with the one subreddit post here. They also at the very beginning wrote that they saved up money to be able to survive for 9 months. And they also at the very end wrote they probably should have saved up more because you cannot get shit going to a sustainable level within a year. Or at most very barely. Pardon me. I'm losing my voice from how much I'm speaking. I've barely spoken, man. I got a bag, bro, a soggy paper bag and the bottom ripped. Too relatable. Hang on, let me have a sip of my tea real quick. What the fuck is my model doing, dude? I'm just having a casual sip on my tea and my model is just... It's so cursed, man. Oh, you have to work sufficient depth to make it work? Yeah. I mean, I guess with like art, it's slightly more plausible. And that art at least has like the benefits of typically, if you are able to get commissions, the more you do, the more you earn. Whereas like with YouTube content, you know, you can work quite a lot of, like quite a long time on a video, and then the video flops, and you'll earn way less. Like, art has like more of a direct relation between how much you work and how much you earn in that sense, I guess. And even then, in Germany, dude, fucking being an artist is ass. Like, I've tried to calculate, and in my case, I would have to work to live off of art, like the bare minimum. I would have to work 40 to 60 hours a week. That's assuming I'm able to get between 4 and 12 commissions in a month. I haven't gotten a real commission request in months, man. So that's obviously not feasible. Feasible, not feasible. And yeah, nah, I'd rather just get a job for now. Like my plan so far is I'm trying to still get a normal job, a normie job. And Germany, from what I understood, Germans in the chat rise up and correct me if I'm wrong about this. From what I understand, Germany has a thing that if you work full time at an employee at an employer for a certain amount of time, you legally have the right without explanation to switch to part time, and they cannot fire you for that. I think. That's important for me because in medical engineering, you're not gonna find a part-time job. No one needs a part-time engineer. That's just not a thing. Any Germans? I'm not German, but from what I understood, that's a thing. Like, if you've worked long enough for an employer full time, you have the right to switch to part time without needing an explanation. Of course, actually, employer can get pissed about that, but I think there's a thing about that. Yeah, but not 100% sure. I'll look into that later. But so far, like, my idea was I get a normal job. Medical engineering pays well. I work at an employer for a while. Until that rule sets in, I switch to part-time. I could live off of part-time and then just like substitute or like, you know, just spend the other part-time self-employed. That way I am still available enough while still being stable financially. At least that's the idea so far. I'll pay you $50 for feed pics. You know where my donation link is. Jokes aside. After 6 months, a company needs to have more than 15 employees. Ah. Who in the right mind will go part-time from full-time? How? You would do it for less? I mean, $20 is $20. I should donate to Arc again? No, you shouldn't. You should be a good viewer and just support me long term or something. But right, where was I? They might have given 50. Haven't I done that already? I mean both, yeah. But I don't remember where I heard this from. That sentence. I think it was from Zietu. Zutia, I think, is the actual main channel name. Zietu, I think, is the second account. Of like once you get the message, hang up the phone. Which is basically to say like, you know, there's only so much that you can research and like learn about something before you should just like actually do it. That's like actually a common issue, both with art, from what I've seen, as well as self-improvement actually. I've heard about it quite often in the self-improvement circle that a lot of people actually kind of fall into the trap. Okay, by the way, just in case for like those people that maybe don't understand what I'm talking about, there's like self-improvement groups. It's like a really big thing on like Reddit and YouTube and stuff like that, where people try to teach how to improve yourself. Self-improvement, duh. It's something that I used to be in back when I was in when I was much younger, like 18. Much younger, I'm 24, man. The like, you know, people get into when they're in like a bad spot in their life and stuff like that. It's not just daily routine, but it's like it's changing your view on things. It is also getting into daily routines and stuff like that. But they I was so confused why the fuck that emote was there. They read Marcus Aurelius. Once I think they know shit, yeah. But like that community is like a big issue. I've seen like video essays on people who have kind of fallen into a trap where some people start reading like self-improvement books. There's a lot of books on like self-improvement where like I think one of the most common examples is something like Atomic Habits or something. I've heard that book recommended so many times, man. But there's like books that like try to help you self-improve. But the thing is that like you can easily fall into a trap where like you read one self-improvement book and then like the kind of euphoria or the happiness of you having fulfilled that book, of knowing what to do next, unfortunately leads people to read more books. And so there's like this entire issue of a lot of people reading books on how to self-improve, reading another one, and they've read multiple books on self-improvement, but they never actually do anything with that knowledge. And it's like a very similar thing with art too, where like I've seen so many people that like get into art, and then their first thing that they do is like, I need to read all the art books that I can find on Wikipedia, and then I can start drawing. And then they read like one book, they don't actually understand any of it because they're not using it for practice, and then they drop out. You know, instead of like, once you get the message, hang up the phone. Yeah, as I said, I think specifically he talked about it, used it in the context of like, there's so many people that will like describe all of these like things you can do to make your videos do better in the algorithm. Like you have to use tags, and if you add subtitles in like at least 6 languages, your video's gonna do better. But like at the end of the day, even if you like polish your first videos as much as possible and you do all of these tricks and whatever, you know, there's only so much that you can polish a piece of shit instead of just actually moving on and improving your videos in general. Like a bad video with all the tricks is still gonna be a bad video. You could just spend that time actually doing it. Oh yeah, actually, like, Forge aus, upon hours of tutorials and art tips, yeah, the canvas empty. It is like the other thing of, somewhat recently with art too, the entire thing of like, what was this, like, this thing. Just make it exist first, you can do it, make it good later. Of like, you know, you can overthink things and like prepare things and stuff like that, or you can just actually do it and then clean it up, or just do it again, stuff like that. Atomic Habits classic. That's a performative male cookbook. Yeah. I mean, I haven't read it, but like I've heard it recommended so many times, even years ago, before performative males were even like a thing. Like I remember even back when I was like 18, I was like in a bad spot in life. Like hearing about Atomic Habits around the manosphere. I'm not in the manosphere anymore, don't worry. Wait, my chat died. It's like 80-20 ratio, right? 80% working on it, 20% watching a tutorial. I mean, that's one way of applying that rule. Yeah, but actually on that topic, there's like the 80-20 rule. I think actually even... Oopsie. I think one of them talked about it too. Of like, I've known it as the 90-10 rule. There's also the 80-20 rule or the 70-30 rule. That it's kind of just like to remind you not to over-invest into things. Yeah, like depending on what number you use, it's basically that like to finish something or like to reach 80% of quality on something or to finish something like by 80%, you need 20% of effort, but then the last 20% of like quality take 80% of your effort, which is basically just to kind of say like it's better to just 69-31 stupid. Which is basically just to say that like you shouldn't try to finish stuff up to its absolute perfection, but some like you need to kind of limit yourself and like how far you actually want to go with things. Like it's not always worth it to go until the very end. Sometimes it's better to just call it quits at a good point before you overinvest. Have you done the performative purity test, Aku? With a what? The who? The what? Don't tell me that's actually it. Not the 6-7. I hate this man. Was that on purpose, dude? Alkan. You summoned the Alkan. How the fuck did you do that? What's performative male? Performative. How do you explain it? Performative male is like the concept of men that Like it's men trying to appear usually particularly like socially aware, but it's all like an act of performance instead of actually putting in the effort to be more socially aware. It's like how I would say it. Let's see what Google says. A man a man who insincerely adopts stereotypically feminine interests is okay. Wikipedia, not Google, please. The matcha male? Matcha male? I haven't heard of that one. Yeah, performative displays of progressivism, feminism, as well as emotional sensitivity. Yeah. So a femboy? Nah, femboy is something entirely different, dude. And when you do the test, you will learn what it is. It's like the rice purity test. I am not allowed to take the rice purity test on stream, by the way. Because you're gonna realize that, A, I get no bitches, but also I have a very weird past. So, like, wait, wasn't there also like the rice purity test was like quite old? There's like a new innocence test, I think it's just called. Where like there's like some questions there which I have to cross for like absolutely stupid reasons. So yeah, innocence test. Yeah, stuff like run from the police. Wait, that's so small on stream right there. Run from the police. By technicality, yes. Stuff like that. Because there was like... Okay, that's the only one that I'm gonna explain right now. But like technically, yes, this one. Because there was one case where someone, a classmate of mine, while we were on a school trip, for some reason, me and him went to like a specific spot on a bridge with like other classmates and stuff like that. And while I wasn't looking, that guy went underneath the bridge and made graffitis there. For whatever fucking reason. And then as soon as he was done, he went out and like asked me if I wanted to go back to the not in, I'm not entirely sure what it's called, like a youth heritage thingy, where we were staying with the entire class. And I went with him, but then the people that called the police because of him said, hey, there's two young boys that sprayed graffiti. So technically, I ran from the police, but it's a 77 are crazy. Threesome orgy. What the fuck? Yeah, some of them are interesting. And then I was like had corona. Duh. Been at a party that got raided. That sounds like such an American thing, by the way. I have not heard of a single party in Germany getting raided. Because like, I don't know, why would they ever raid a party in Germany? Except for like noise complaints. And that's not a police raid. Anyways. Or block someone on social media. I sit here with like thousands of people blocked on Twitter. Whoopsie. Acquisitive delinquents? Nah. I've had delinquent friends though. No, little German boy, don't leak your deepest, darkest secrets. Too late. Let me have a sip of my tea. Excuse my model freaking out. I swear to God, this model is possessed or something. Try litmus test. What was the litmus test again? I mean, I've been at a party where the police got caught but like raided. Yeah, I've only heard of like raids for parties in the US because of like alcohol and stuff. And like the one party in the US that I've been to that like they had alcohol but didn't get raided, so no. Yeah, by the way, I YouTube has this weird thing where like sometimes it goes through phases where it shows you like really small videos to give them a chance, I guess. And I keep getting stuff like that, which is just like, I know it's for YouTube in particular or like streaming. It's very easy to learn how not to do things, which is like, like what is this video supposed to tell me? Yeah, I mean, it's Call of Duty, I can tell. I've actually seen cases too where like people uploaded videos of like Minecraft, of them playing Minecraft, but they had like such mods for the menus and stuff that like I could not tell it was Minecraft until I clicked on it. Well, yeah. Mr. Loki sounds like a decent nut joke's about to happen true. Honestly, also the audio thing about videos is the same for streams as well. I'm sorry, but I've seen like so many streams before, like even my old streams too, where like I just can't listen to them because the audio is so bad. So that's like why I'm so finicky and like focus on my own audio and like asking all the time. Because audio, honestly, you don't really realize how important audio is for videos and like streams and stuff like that until you found a video or a stream where the audio is so bad that you just can't watch it. Yeah. Nice title. I will just Call of Duty, yeah. Or like actually on that topic, for example, also like ASMR. So it's probably not a secret to people that have watched me for a while that I like ASMR a lot. For me, it's just like a different flavor of white noise, where I don't like regular white noise because it sounds too disruptive, I guess. But like certain types of ASMR, for me, work better as white noise. I don't know how else to explain it. But dudes, to be fair, for ASMR, because of how finicky and like sensitive ASMR microphones and settings and stuff like that are, it's really important, or like it's really easy to tell when the audio in ASMR streams or videos isn't good. Because, it immediately peaks, it screeches in your ears, stuff like that. Aku just likes getting smooches for an hour straight. How do you know that? Peasant white noise versus luxury white noise, yeah. Litmus is litmus paper test to check acid or base. Huh? But yeah, like with ASMR streams, for example, it's like really easy to tell when the audio is bad. Cause like, it immediately hurts in your ears, basically. Actually, like on the topic of ASMR streams too, ASMR streams is such a weird category of like content because it's so oversaturated and undersaturated at the same time. Like, I don't want to show the Twitch category just in case, but like, if you've tried to look for ASMR streams on Twitch, for example, there's so many ASMR streams, but it's all the same. So that like, there's traffic noise. Yeah, that too, actually, quite often. I mean, that isn't too disruptive, honestly. Yeah, it also just happens. 3 weeks in Malaysia taught me I don't need ASMR. There's just always noise. Man. But yeah, like the ASMR category, for example, is really interesting in that there's so much slorp glorping. Dude, everyone is licking ears. everyone. It's all licking ears, man. Like, I don't know how Twitch ASMR category does that, where it's all ear licking to the point that if someone doesn't do ear licking, even though there's like hundreds of people streaming ASMR, they actually rise to the top because they don't lick ears. Slurp glurpin, yeah. Like, obviously, nothing against those kinds of people. I actually can vaguely understand the appeal behind it, because depending on how you sell the microphone, it can sound less like actual slurp glurpin, or the way that a friend of mine once described it, it's a blowjob simulator. You know, it can actually sound kinda pleasant in a certain way. I just don't see that way most of the time. But like, actually, like, one of the only ASMR streamers on Twitch that I watch is someone called Ikumi. And like, they don't do ear licking or anything like that at all. They do very like vanilla, quote unquote. I think I just said on stream that I like vanilla. I don't think that was a good idea. They do very vanilla ASMR, which, because it is not the normal slorp glorpin, she's like always at the top of the ASMR category. And like, I genuinely really like her content because it's normal ASMR. It's super well audio like balance and level and stuff like that. What is vanilla ASMR? You know, just like ear rubbing, trigger words sometimes, tapping, scratching, crinkling, yeah, stuff like that. The opposite of slurp glurpin, man. Like, it's a lot more like low-key, normal, quote unquote vanilla ASMR, I mean. Also, there's no men on the ASMR category. I swear to God. But that's like one of the weird cases where like you can still be in like a oversaturated niche, but if you just do things in a certain way, you can not easily, but you can definitely flourish within that niche. Also because like, if you ever check out the Twitch ASMR category, there's so many like rerun accounts that just like randomly stole slorp glorpin audio from like some accounts, and they're all also just called like ASMR Maria, ASMR Emily, or what are women names? Sophie underscore ASMR, shit like that. It's all just like the same shit, just on loop for like 24 hours a day. Time for you to get into it then. Now you see, that might have been a joke, but actually, I like Freeman. There are some fanboys. I haven't seen them. Sure. Nah. But actually, on that topic, I was thinking of getting an audio consultation with. I forgot her name. Miori Celeste? I can't remember her name. Also, my voice absolutely died there. I'm sorry about that. Like, I was thinking of getting an audio consultation to figure out how to improve my mic. I might honestly just need to invest into like an audio interface, because I'm probably one of the only people on Twitch that isn't using a fucking Shure SM7B, but I'm just using a USB mic. I think it might be time to upgrade. What kind of mic do you have? I have the... It doesn't say it anywhere on it. It's the version before the Shure SM7B. It had a very similar name. That has USB instead. Or like, it's USB or audio interface. I specifically got it so I can eventually just upgrade. But like, I swear to God, everyone and their moms and every red pill dude and whatever, they all use the fucking Shure SM7B. I have my HyperX Quadcast. Jesus Christ. It's most likely very nice. But now your audio sounded fine. I mean, honestly, like USB microphones tend to be fine from what I've heard. And I mean, mine is plugged in through USB. What's the issue with USB mic, though? From what I remember, it was that USB, the connection itself, has a lot of noise in it. Like, I need to put a lot of filters and stuff like that on my microphone, so you don't have like a constant buzzing in the background. Yeah, that's like the main issue. There's some issues too of like the gain, I think. At least like with my microphone. Let me quickly check. I know that like in the... Yeah, like with my microphone, I accidentally opened the fucking NVIDIA app. If I die, I die. I'm sorry, but it's suddenly updating. I did not mean to update my graphics card drivers. Stop! Stop! Okay, I think I stopped. If I disappear, you know what happened. No, but for example, with like a... Is it just called an XLR mic then? Like if you have the non-USB microphone, you just put it into an audio interface and then you have all the gain in there, and then it gets sent into your computer. With USB mic, I have it at max sensitivity. The USB goes from the mic into the computer. In the computer, I need to add 36 decibels of mic gain through software. And then inside of OBS, I think I have more there too. Which is like, you have multiple gains, which naturally kind of fucks the audio. Like software gains. Yeah. So like the audio can't... Sorry about my phone. Still not being called by my interview set. What type of connection is recommended? Most people just use a Go XLR. I forgot what that actual type is called. It's not called an XLR connection, I think. Like, it's a different cable. It's a round one specifically for audio. At least it's not Xbox mic quality, am I right? Yeah. Filters, oh yeah, that is thing. You don't... You have filters in your microphone, right? Your mic sounds too good to not have filters. You're kidding, right? Nope. What? Huh? You're hacking. I am an audio noob. I mean, to be fair, most people are. Audio is like such a weird thing to get into. Most of like how I've set up my microphone is also just me using tutorials and trying to understand the tutorials while I'm watching them, which didn't work out really. Every time I tilt my head up, it... This model is actually possessed. I need to talk with Icon later. So we're hearing filtered arc voice, not as unfiltered voice. Yeah. Oh, wait, I can quickly... Wait, I can remove that one. I can very quickly turn everything off. So I have a 3-band equalizer, which basically just makes it sound a bit better because I forgot what my microphone has, but it sounds too hollow, I think. That's what this 3-band equalizer is for. There's a noise gate, there's a compressor, which is basically make sure I don't accidentally destroy your eardrums if I'm too loud. There's also limiter that does the same thing. And then the most important fucking thing, the de-esser, because I have this issue that when I do S noises, it absolutely whistles in a microphone. That's yeah, it's turned off now. So I'm sorry if it hurts a bit too much in your ears. I mean, sometimes it's really bad, other times it's really fine, honestly. But like, I still make sure to put an DS on it because there's like times where it absolutely like I could not for a while listen to my own streams because my S sounds was way too sharp. Like it actually kind of like whistles in your ears and stuff like that. And let me turn everything back on. Ta-da. This is with all the filters again. I hear no difference. Dude, you're probably in bed with like $5 earphones. Shush. You also couldn't hear fucking the background music when I had my little debut. So like, bro. Raw Aku, goddammit. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I keep the filters that I use pretty low. Because I also just don't want to, you know, run to issues of like, I sound one way on the internet, and then like IRL, I don't actually sound like that. Like, I could absolutely. Hang on. I need to hear myself too while I do this shit. Microphone. I'm stupid. I just used the wrong thingy. I think you didn't hear me for like the last minute. I used the wrong setting, I think. But yeah, I could totally just like. Wait, dude. What? Hang on, I absolutely should not touch any audio related thing on stream ever. I think I hope I didn't break anything just now. But it is like I could obviously like take my 3-band equalizer and just like absolutely, I don't know, give me a completely different voice. Ooh, I actually can't hear myself, but it should be really, really deep. Sorry if I woke anyone up with that. Well, like I try to keep it at like a minimum as much as possible at least. But yeah, it just sounds muffled because I absolutely just overkilled it. Not quite the corpse husband voice yet. I mean, that's like exactly what I wouldn't want to do. Like the only reason why I have like that kind of 3-band equalizer filter is just to basically counteract what issues the mic has. Like, I think the way that I sound on stream is like closer with the filters to what I sound like IRL. Or at least that's like what I was aiming for with the filters. Because like microphones unfortunately do kind of falsify voices and stuff. Whoopsie. But yeah, anyways, I think I am kind of done yapping. I think. As I said earlier, I just want to have like a short I'm back stream to kind of show that I'm alive, to also like share emotes and stuff like that and what I'm planning to do. Yeah, that being said, you sound pretty much like this IRL, I would say, okay. I mean, I still have the issue then that I don't look the way IRL that I sound, but that's a different issue. Next stream 2027, no. Next stream, hopefully Wednesday or Thursday. I will need like a day to get the sketch that I have going right now to a more presentable level. She's naked right now. Like I only drew the mannequin so far, not the actual full with clothing and everything. As I said, I didn't get time to draw today because I've been waiting for 7 hours for my interviewer to call me back. Well, yeah. Anyways, I would say I quickly stop any raids. And then I quickly just raid into probably just Roseburn and call it a day. As I said, sorry about short stream. I just kind of wanted to yap, needed to test some things. Kind of wanted to catch up with people. As I said, I hope you guys have been doing fine since I last streamed. I didn't realize that I didn't stream for like an entire month again. Time passes way too quickly, honestly. Yeah, that being said, let me quickly start raid. Miss the Arco streams. I'm gonna be streaming more now. Don't worry. Unless I actually get a job. In that case, I might actually have to eventually take a couple of days off to move and whatever, but that I don't know, I'm not too hopeful that I actually got that one job, but anyways. We're gonna raid Rose, who's currently drawing Shiori novella from Hololive, I think. Now, I don't have a raid message. Just like, I don't know, you can write Aku raid and then add an emote or something. Do not write German raid. Please do not write German raid as we did once. That was not a good idea. Just write Aku raid and some kind of emote or something like that. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys are gonna have a good rest of your week. I'll try to stream Wednesday or Thursday. Art should have something juicy cooking up. And yeah, other than that, she really likes the bread emote. She does. She has her own too. Yeah, other than that, thanks for hanging out while I just yap and have a non-typical stream compared to usually. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.